Hello. Hello, I am Naomi Beth and I call myself the Naughty Oracle because I like to tell it a bit like it is, or how I'm dealing with stuff right now and things in my life. Today I want to talk about social anxiety. Scary as shit talk about this stuff. Why? Because I've just come to the realization in the last few years of my life that I have suffered from social anxiety all my life. So it's when, I have to go out, so I get butterflies in my tummy, and it's like I'm thinking of all the scenarios in my head that, this will happen and that will happen and this will happen and that will happen, and oh my God, I don't think I can go. And so then I literally make myself physically ill, where I'm going to vomit. And I can't do anything in society. Those of you who know me have said, what do you mean, Naomi? No, you don't. You don't have social anxiety. Thank you. I've done that very well. I've got you all hoodwinked. My coping mechanisms have obviously worked. So I have learnt the scripts of conversation to make myself look like I belong. I have played the part. So to me, one of my coping skills is that I become an actress when I go out around big crowds and a lot of people. So I'm constantly thinking of the script that I'm playing out. So it's like those shows where a famous actor is asked onto a sitcom skit scenario where everybody else has a script, but you don't. And so you have to improvise and go along with that script. But you've got no idea what's happening. So it's creating all these scenarios in your head. And what do I say? Have I said the right thing? Have I not said the right thing? Is this going to work? Is it successful? Am I a failure? All these things go on in your head with that social anxiety. So I've come to the realization I'm a wonderful actress. I did 2 years of speech and drama in high school to help me cope with my social anxiety. I was at the point where I would drive home, it's about a 20-minute drive on a country road, drive home from work teaching, and I would be just a blubbering mess. And I would have to pull over and just explode out all the crap of the day, and me having to hold everything in for the day of being around other people and performing. And it took so much energy from me that by the end of the day, I was just exhausted and I couldn't do anything else. And so that's where, when I felt good at home, I had to be highly organized. So I coped with my social anxiety by being a planner. So I would plan. So I would plan my whole week's wardrobe so that I didn't have to think about it. I just got up and put it on. You know, this is Tuesday, this is Wednesday, this is Thursday. I planned my whole meals so that by the end of the day when I came home from work, we still were eating. I had to put it all into place so that my emotions and my anxiety didn't get the best of me. And then I couldn't function at all. So I couldn't do that because I was a mum of kids, right? So you have to be planned, you have to be there, you have to be organised. So that was one of my coping skills. The other coping skill was acting. Acting that everything's okay and that we're all going along fine, and that, I'm not freaking out in my gut, you know. And yes, I belong here. I'm in my head. I belong here. No, I don't. Yes, you do. No, I don't. No, yes, I do. Yes, you do. No, I don't. Large crowds. Oh my God, don't get me started on large crowds. I feel so unsafe in a large crowd because I don't know what these random actors are going to be doing in my play. So they could come off script and do shit like shove me, and I'm like, oh, sorry. Oh, now you're in my play. Now what do I say to you? There's so much there. It is debilitating, and it's energy draining, and it's exhausting. And I ended up with chronic fatigue syndrome in my early 20s because I have had to act for so many years that everything was okay, and that there was no help. In my day when we were growing up, because I'm 50 now, so I grew up, I was a teenager in the 80s, late 80s, 90s, and it's like there was no such thing as anxiety. You were having a nervous breakdown. That's what they used to call it. And you had to be at your worst to have that exposure, so you had to be suffering from this social anxiety for like all your life, basically, and then have a breakdown for them to recognize that something was wrong. Hello? Other times you had to just go along with the ride. So I wanted to talk about this because I'm sure that there are a lot of older people out there who have had this social anxiety as well and have had physical symptoms come out because of their social anxiety. And it is anxiety that is causing it. It's insomnia, the overworking, the going over in your head and not being able to relax at night. It's the IBS, the irritable bowel syndrome in your tummy, where you're constipated and then you're diarrhea, and then you're constipated and you're diarrhea. It's your butterflies in your tummy coming out in the physical form. It's that frustration of holding in your emotions towards the anxiety, or holding in that anxiety that creates all that nervous tension in your body. And so now you've got to release it somehow. So the other coping mechanisms is like alcohol. I used alcohol a lot to get over my social anxiety. So we'd go out, I'd have a few beers, I could relax, I stopped overthinking, I could, I'm still conscious though. So sometimes I was, other times I wipe myself out, I've got no idea. There's lots of blanks. But that was part of society. That was how we thought we had to act. Anyway, so being part of that, so you used alcohol, or some people use drugs, some people use different things. So I use alcohol, I use planning, being totally organized and in control, and I'm releasing those things as we go along in life, which is wonderful. It's so free, and I never knew this freedom could be here by just releasing those few things that were coping mechanisms for me, and now I just don't give a shit. So if I don't want to go out, I'm not going to go out. And I'm okay with that. And other people around me have to accept that. I'm not going to come and celebrate with you if I'm not able to, if I'm not fully in my unanxious mode. Okay. And if I am anxious, I'll have a beer and I'll get, but I won't wipe myself out like I used to, so I can still be part of the society. Anyway, the other one I use is that toilet breaks. So if I'm in a social environment and it's getting too uncomfortable with the conversation, or it's too overwhelming and I don't know when to put my voice into the conversation, because there's lots of conversations going on and I'm like, oh my God, I'd rather just sit here in silence and just listen. And so I listen and observe, and it's like, okay, do I say something? Oh, somebody's talking to me. Shit, what did they say? Because I have peripheral vision, I have peripheral hearing, I have peripheral senses, that my senses are so overwhelmed that I'm hearing, if there's 6 conversations around the table, I'm hearing those 6 conversations in little snippets. And I'm picking up those little snippets because I want to know if I need to respond, or if I need to react, or what's happening, or is there a fire in the kitchen that I need to... This is why it's so exhausting for me to go out and socialize, because I can't relax in a social environment because there's too many unknowns. There's too much going on in that one environment. There's too much that my over-sensitized senses pick up. And it's overwhelming, and it's destroying, soul destroying actually. And people are like, oh no, you need to go out. And you think, no, I love this pandemic. There's been so many excuses that I haven't had to go out. I haven't had to be anywhere. My soul has had a wonderful break from having to pretend, of having to act like I belong. So she has had a lovely break and enjoyed the freedom. And now that I know what the freedom is like, I'm not going back to that acting. I'm not going back to pretending. I'm not going back to like, I have to go to this social event because it's part of the family thing. No, I don't do that anymore. And I give myself permission to know that in myself, that I'm not capable of being there for everybody all the time. I'm not capable of doing that, okay? So just think about those things with the social anxiety. So if you're feeling that way too, no, it may just be that way. And that's how you're made, and that's how you are, and that's okay. And learn your coping skills, okay? So when I'm going somewhere, I can't do spontaneous stuff. If you want to do a surprise party for me, listen to me, for me, then understand I'm going to freak the shit out and I'm going to clam up and I'm not going to say a word for the rest of the night, because that was overwhelming for me, and I need to process what's happening, and I need to work out, okay, well what's happening? Where am I going? What am I doing? Do I need to act? Oh my God, now I have to. And so now I'm sitting there processing and planning out the rest of my night in my head and imagining what could happen, what's going to happen, and all this thing. And those of you who don't do this and don't overthink and don't have these scenarios going in your head, I'm so jealous, because this has been my life all my life. This is how my brain works. It just overthinks, overtalks, overwhelms. And I don't overtalk in public. I don't overtalk in social situations. And this is what I'm explaining to you, that social anxiety. Okay, is that you clam up sometimes, or you become really shy and you can't answer questions because it's like, did I answer that correctly? Is that the answer they wanted me to say? And so now people ask, how are you? Great. How's your work going? Oh, awesome. Yeah, having a great time, doing well, can't complain. You know, all those scripted answers, but they don't lead to another conversation. If you sit with me and we have a genuine conversation where we're flowing with each other and we're talking about the nitty-gritties in the personal lives of ourselves, etc., then know that I feel comfortable enough with you to be able to share those things with you. If I don't share those things with you, I am not comfortable with this environment that I'm in with you at that time, or the actual other people that might be around. So, I'm not going to share anything if I feel overwhelmed or threatened by the energies of where I am that time, because I'm a sensitive. So we need to acknowledge that there are so many more sensitives out there now. And they're picking up on every single thing. So, you can have that conversation down there and saying, I'm doing wonderful, and this is happening in my life, and this is happening in my life, and this is happening in my life. I'm hearing the words, but what I'm picking up on is your energy, and it can be you're exhausted. You're not telling the truth. Oh, well, you might be telling the truth. You're telling the facts, but it's like, but somewhere else, your heart is not being serviced. So you're not receiving the love back that you're giving to the other people in your life. I will pick up on that rather than the words that you're saying. Like, I'll take that face value, and I'm very vulnerable, but what do you call it when you take it on face value, word value? Anyway, that thing. And so I will take what you say as your word, and believe it and what you're saying. But then I will feel what you're feeling. And it's like, that doesn't compute. It doesn't fit. It doesn't balance. Oh my God. And then I'm having this with everybody around me. So when there's a crowd of people, it's like, I pick up that one, and I pick up that one, and I pick up that one, and I pick up that one. And I'm like, I've got to shut this out. And I humanly can't. So I have to learn coping skills. So yes, I do the protection things with my energy, etc., and all that sort of stuff. But I still have to feel. I still have to try to be part of society and try to be a human, and try to be there for the people who have invited me, And it can become quite exhausting though. So I pick and choose my social events now, because if I have too many things on one weekend, I can't do it. I can't make it. So I will go to one thing on the weekend, recover, okay, go to another thing, even grocery shopping then in a shopping centre, okay, recover, have a day at home to recover and process the energies of what I was feeling. And I give myself permission to do that. And this is how I have to cope, and I have to live this way. And that's okay with me, because I don't mind the recovery days. They're pretty good. But I have created those, and I have asked for those, and I have done the work energetically to create that environment for myself. So with social anxiety, it's all about picking up those energy imprints. So when you're out somewhere, you're picking up the energy of the people around you. You're picking up the energy of the environment. You're picking up the energy of the ground underneath you, of, different types of things around. You're picking up the weather. You're picking up the buildings' imprints. You're picking up all of that as a sensitive. So when you have that social anxiety, it is overwhelming and it is too much to carry. So with my card deck, the Naughty Oracle card deck, my advanced copy is coming soon. So I won't have to drag out. I'll have the actual box. Woohoo! Anyway, the card that associates with this, the social anxiety part of it, and the one of the coping mechanisms that I have added to my system of coping mechanisms is removing energy imprints and releasing those, so that the energy imprint of the social event that I went to on Saturday night does not continue to invade my space for the rest of the week. Okay, so we're going to remove that energy imprints of that space, of that time, and we're going to remove the energy imprints of every day or wherever I go, so that I can be just free and just be in my own senses and my own space and my own energy. Okay, that's the whole point. So the one that we're looking at is the Lunar Sista. Okay, it's time to remove all your energy imprints. So can you see we're having a nice night by the fire, but this girl over here is chucking up her guts because she can't handle the energy of what the others are projecting, of the energy of the full moon. Those of you who follow full moon energy know that it is a clearing space for you. So she's throwing it all up physically. On the side there, you can't really see a chuck on the side. Dot did a really good job at hiding the grossness. But that's what she's doing. She's up chucking all the full moon crap, or she's having her own clearing. Okay, so I'm going to read out of the big book what the Lunar Sista is. So we're going to remove all the negative energy imprints from you. Right, here we go. What does it say? You need to learn and understand how your environment affects you. Are the moon phases affecting you? Is the weather making you feel like shit? Are the people around you making you feel pissed off all the time? Does that place you visit every weekend make you feel ill? Are you visiting places of ancestral significance like burial sites? Is your house built on one? Think of that one. Maybe you are suffering from energy imprints in your energy system. So imprints that need to be cleared so that you can be in your own energy. So have you noticed what phase the moon is in, what the weather is like? Who are you spending too much time with? Do you need ritual to help yourself not be such a loony Lunar Sista? That goes to you guys too. Learn to use ritual with the new moon to manifest your desires, and the full moon to release what no longer serves your higher purpose. There you go. Up, chuck it. Don't literally do that. It's annoying. It's so annoying if you have to be physically ill to remove it. Remove it energetically first so you don't have to be physically ill. So clear your energy bodies, releasing any and all energy imprints from all of your bodies, and begin to feel fucking awesome again. That's the whole point. Now, when I've put this into my coping mechanisms as part of my social anxiety and removing the energy imprints and clearing my energy after I've done all these big social events, etc., I have been able to cope. I do a treatment on my head to remove the overthinking. So that's Reiki. I do Reiki treatment over my whole body to be able to go out to somewhere. Okay, it is a coping mechanism and it has helped me. So here's some questions to ask yourself. What ritual practices can you bring into your life to help you right now? I've told you a few just then. How does the weather affect your moods? So be conscious of it. And when you walk into a room, do you feel the energy of it? And how does this affect you? So if you feel you suffer from social anxiety, is it you feeling the room around you that you're anxious about? Is it the overthinking that you're anxious about? You know, what is actually being projected onto you? What is happening in your body? Be aware, be aware, be aware. Okay, let's clear it. I now choose to remove any and all energy imprints from my whole entire body and being in all directions and dimensions of time and space. I transmute them to the light. And it is a matter of just doing that. And there we go. Cleared out of my throat. Yoo-hoo! Let's do the raising vibration statement. Ready? I am clear of any and all energy imprints. I am strong in my own bright light energy. I am strong in my own bright light energy. I can do this. I can do this. I can walk out that door. I can get out there. I can. No, you can't. Not today, Naomi. Not today. And that's okay. It's okay to not be okay. Please understand this. I give you permission to not be okay. We are human. We are meant to be dysfunctional, messy, disorganized critters. We are meant to have failures and faults and weirdness and kookiness and whatever we need to experience the life that we are meant to live in this present moment. So there's another coping skill for you. Remove the energy imprints from your whole entire body and being to help you cope with the next social situation you have to be in, you know, and that can be work. So, you know, if you need to add this to your daily day to help you release, the energy imprints, I'm clearing, still clearing. So when I burp, when I cough, when I sneeze, it's all about clearing the energies. It's all about yawning, you know, I'm moving and shifting and processing and clearing it out of my energetic system so that I don't have to manifest it into a physical nervous condition. I hope that's helped you a bit. Like, subscribe. Thank you very much for being here to listening to my rant about social anxiety and how I have coped so far in life. I'm 50 and I'm doing okay. I have survived. I have survived when it wasn't called anxiety, when there weren't medications, unless, you know, you absolutely keeled over. Yeah, we did it. We did it. Didn't survive. I'm not going to say I'm survived really successfully, but I have survived. And that's okay. I give myself permission to have that because, you know, I'm meant to have those lessons. I'm meant to just enjoy. I wouldn't change anything. I needed to experience all this life that life has to give. But now I know I have my coping mechanisms in place. So now I know I can create that peaceful, loving, what I want in my life. Very important to understand that. Eventually, you will get there. Keep going. Keep going. Okay, love to you all, especially those that are working with their own social anxiety. See you on the other side. It's there for another side. It will be there forever, but you learn your coping skills to cope with it. And you just remember and be aware of when it becomes too much and give yourself permission to rest and process it out of your system. Get rid of the crappy energy of everybody else that you always pick up on. Okay? All right. Thanks for trying to be human with me. Okay, love yous lots, subscribe, etc. You know the deal. All right. Bye. Catch us next week.